What's going on, people? I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this movie I just watched on Netflix. It was called Jezebel. I don't know what made me attracted to this movie. I don't know what made me invested into this movie. All I know is I saw it on Netflix. I was like, huh, it was just interesting. I was watching it. So, what is the movie about? Basically, it's about this. If it's a true story of whoever the lady directed. I forgot her name, which is weird because I watched her on Fox. So, but it's a true story of whoever directed this movie when she was 19 and she was living in this studio apartment with like her sister and like four other people. So her sister's a phone sex operator. And sometimes she's like, even when she's like doing her job and all that other stuff, like they can hear it in the living room. Well, they have to go in the living room, turn up the TV and all that stuff so she can do a job. Her mom dies. Their mom dies, and they don't know what to do. So everybody's like, "Yo, y'all gotta like step up and get jobs." So her sister gives the 19-year-old, who is the main character, is like, "Here's this card. Um, you get to be," and basically she's like tries to make her become a webcam girl. Now, be mindful, this is the early 90s, so not a lot of people had internet, so internet was like a new thing. So um, it was very interesting. So basically, she becomes a webcam girl, and she becomes one of their top. I would say their top runners, and her being the only black girl there, I guess, she becomes really full of herself, and like she starts making good money and all that other stuff. You see it in there. So the good parts of this movie, I feel like the good parts of this movie it is really written well. And I guess, when it comes from the truth, it's really written well. I'm glad nothing's really over exaggerating. And to tell you the truth, and this is just me, my honest opinion, there's been a couple times like I thought something bad was going to happen, but it never does. That is good to me. Honestly, that is good because usually, like you expect, when you see a scene, you be like, "Oh, something's gonna be bad, huh?" And then nothing bad happens. It throws me off, but at the same time, I'm really appreciative of it because how many times you done seen stuff and it's like like a Tyler Perry movie when this is where he turns bad, so this is where he becomes an asshole and all that other shit. So like you see it coming. Not this time. Like shit doesn't really. Sometimes some shit doesn't happen. So the written well is really good. It's very acted well for a bunch of people that I do not know. Though I thought it was acted very well. So kudos to them, especially the main characters and the older sister. I thought them two were really good at their job. Uh, I don't want to say the bad parts, but it was really nitpicky. So the purpose of this movie, is supposed to have this relationship between the 19-year-old girl and our older sister, and like how their relationship is just build up and on things. The sad part is, even though I said it's written well, it's still fucking boring. Like you're gonna be bored of that because nothing really interesting happens. They don't really have no big fights. Like they don't really have no big fights. It's just more or less like the older sister just got it, and the new sister's mostly checking on see if it's okay and all that stuff, make sure she's safe. The more interesting part is what happens in the webcam shit because there's um like the way she starts out, she's like all timid and just nervous and all the other stuff. And then like it goes on and you see she starts feeling herself. She's got to have this most confident. Now she's getting consistent numbers and all that other stuff. So she like you see the progression of her becoming this timid, shy girl to someone that's really about her business and all that other stuff. So even to a part where it was just like they call her a nigga bitch and all that other stuff, you see how she acted and you see how like she's never been called that before over the internet and she don't know how to take it. And the people that's mentoring her is like, no, you really got to grow some thick skin because how many times they've been called every name under the sun, and they're trying to tell her like the golden things, but you can see like her, she's still being new to it. She don't know how to take it. So it's a lot of things you can see in there. This is, and the last nitpick part to me is the relationship she has with one of her consistent customers who was named Bobby. Now, the thing about the job is like, yes, they're selling sex and all that other stuff, but it's not prostitution. Like anything that's like he explains it really. There's no penetration, like and all the other stuff. There's techniques they use to make it look like they're penetrating because there's a delay. Remember, this in the '90s. The internet wasn't that big then. Anybody that's been in the '90s and internet understands that. So you know, like he specifically tells her, like, don't do this, this, and this. It's considered prostitution. I'm not going to jail for you. And her mentor says the same thing. Like, there's tricks, tips, and tricks, and all this stuff to do things. You don't really have to do a lot. And they also say, look, I'm not going to jail for you. You're not supposed to give out your address. Don't give your phone numbers. She breaks almost every damn rule they say. Um, and that's not the problem, but it was just like the most interesting part is like the relationship between her and Bobby. Like she's breaking his rules for this stuff. Like now she doesn't give him her address, but she gives him this PO box that is her sister's. And sister said, "Yeah, you gonna need your own PO box and all that other stuff." So they're supposed to meet up, right? And spoilers, like they're supposed to meet up, but the movie ends. It's just like she puts on a wig, and he gives her thigh high boots. She was supposed to wear that for her and all that other stuff. You never see that. So the most interesting part is between her and Bobby, and if they're going to meet up or not, because she was supposed to meet up on, and then the movie just ends. So you're really just like, what the fuck? Now, I get it. The relation, like I said, the relationship, that's not supposed to be an important part of the movie. But at the same time, it's like I feel like it was not needed. I guess because there was no conclusion to that. And even with your A, B, and C stories, and anybody tell you in movies there's an A story and a B story, or even in TV shows there's an A story and a B story, and you got to make sure you like close all your stories before your episodes end. And I feel like none of the stories end. They just like abruptly stops, and then it feels like um you're just left there as like, well, what happens next? Like I'm at the end of the movie, like I had to rewind it a couple times because I was like, oh shit, so what's gonna happen with her and Bobby? Did I miss that? And then I'm like, I rewind it. No, I didn't miss that. Um I didn't miss nothing. And then next thing you know, it's just like, oh, it just ends? Damn, what the fuck? So what's gonna happen with her and Bobby? Like y'all been poping up this whole thing between her and Bobby. We get nothing? And then so that's the only thing. It's just like the ending is really a letdown because it's just like you want to know what happens between her and Bobby. And in my opinion, that's the most interesting part of this whole movie. Um and I get nothing. No, but so overall, is it a good movie to really watch? Yes, I would say it's a good movie to watch. Um I wouldn't rush to go get it, but I can see why it won some things, but at the same time that you're not gonna like the ending. And that's just my opinion of it. But to the woman, I'm sorry I keep forgetting your name, but job well done to the movie. Like you caught my attention, you kept my attention, and I didn't feel disappointed watching the movie, even with the ending abruptly stopping. I feel like um you kept my attention on the movie, and then you put out a good product. So overall, I think you put out a good product. If you just if you see Jezebel, go ahead and watch it. It's a really good. It doesn't lag on. Like it really does not lag on. So um I hope I get something. I hope she does other stuff because I would like to see her. I'm just sorry that I'm just don't remember your name. But anyway, that's my review of Jezebel. Go watch it on Netflix. I'm pretty sure it's still there. Um, If to the lady, if you ever just stumble on this video, good job. I appreciate what I just saw. Till then, my name is Oskina Fly, and I'm out. Peace.